Hello and welcome to the Ogtv Comprehensive News. I am Dominic Abeokuta. First, the major highlights. President Tinubu unveils affordable alternative to petrol with compressed natural gas at 230 naira per litre. Ogun government takes step towards reducing transport pricing to add 100 CNG buses to its fleet. Ahead of 2025 budget, Ogun government presents 2025 to 2027 state medium-term framework for approval. And at the foreign scene, Australia plans to ban children from using social media.
On the business news tonight, federal government unveils affordable home ownership mortgage fund. Details of these and more when I return on the business segment of the news. I am Simiat Abaro.
And on sport, Super Eagles of Nigeria held to a goalless draw by Rwanda in CAF 2025 African Cup of Nations qualifiers. I'll bring you the details of this and more when I return. I am Shegi. Hello, stay with us.
Doing your best means never stop trying. Don't forget you can watch us live on Facebook at Ogtv and Ogun State Television, YouTube at Ogtv Abeokuta, and on the Ogtv website www.ogtv.com.ag/live. For the latest news and reports, check us on these platforms: X at Ogun TV, Instagram at Ogun State Television, or download Ogtv app on Apple Store and Google Play Store. And now to the news in full. It is a strategic move to reduce fuel costs and provide Nigerians with an affordable alternative to petrol and diesel. President Bola Tinubu has enabled compressed natural gas to be available for vehicles at 230 naira per litre. This initiative provides a cheaper and cleaner alternative to petrol, which currently sells for over 900 naira per litre, reflecting the president's commitment to lowering the cost of living and alleviating the pressures from fuel subsidy removal. The Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, which was launched under President Tinubu's directive, is set to deliver wide-reaching benefits to Nigerians by significantly cutting fuel costs. The introduction of CNG as a fuel source aligns with the government's drive towards energy diversification and is designed to bring immediate relief to Nigerians, especially those who depend on transport for their livelihood. According to a statement by the project director, Michael Oluwagbemi, as part of the initiative, President Tinubu has ordered 1 million free CNG conversion kits to be distributed to commercial vehicles involved in transporting people, food, and goods. The distribution process is supported by the Presidential CNG Initiative in partnership with NIPCO Gas, which will manage the conversion process through a network of authorized conversion centers across Nigeria. These centers will provide the necessary infrastructure and services to ensure a smooth transition from vehicles switching to CNG. And to Ogun State now, where the governor, Prince Dakpo Abiodun, has directed the newly inaugurated Enforcement Committee comprising the State Police Commissioner, his counterpart in the Department of State Services, Traffic Compliance Agency, and heads of transport unions in the state to ensure fair transport pricing in the state. Governor Abiodun, at a meeting, also announced that his administration would be making available 100 brand new 18-seater compressed natural gas buses for the use of transporters in
of the state continue to live a well-meaning life despite the current situation of the economy. Governor Abeokuta meeting with the leaders of transport unions in the state to further deliberate on how to synergize and rub minds in order to ensure that the increment of the petrol pump price would not play out in the charges of transporters to many Nigerians.
But we believe that as a responsible state government, we should sit down and talk to each other, particularly you that are the leadership of the transport sector. Because of what we have seen obtained in the past. We've seen that in the past, any time when there's a change in pump prices by maybe, let's even say maybe 10%, we have noticed in the past that our transporters also naturally, because the cost of operations of their equipment, be it motorcycle, be it tricycle, be it trucks, be it buses, the cost of those operations of those equipment, of course, will be also impacted. But what we've noticed is that when there's a change in the pricing of petroleum products by 10, 15, 20%, the effect and the impact that we see play out with what your members begin to charge at times is like 2,000%. And we want to sit down and dialogue with each other because we are all stakeholders, not just in this Ogun State project, but in the Nigerian project.
Abeokuta also pointed out that the increment, which is about 25 to 30%, therefore should not be a difference of 25 to 30% in transport fare, saying that the federal government would be making available 100 CNG-enabled buses and 500 conversion kits to the state government.
Our plans are to, in the first instance, make 100 buses, 118 20-seater buses available to our transport union. And we are confident that when we give these buses, you utilize them responsibly. We are confident that you pay back. So we feel that it's important for you to know that the state government of Ogun and the federal government are working hands in glove together to ensure that we minimize as much as we humanly can the impact and effect of this slight increase in the price of petrol.
The State Commissioner for Transportation, Engineer Gbenga Dairo, as well as National President of Akomara, Samsidin Akbelogun, among other stakeholders present at the meeting, appreciate the doggedness of the state government, saying the citizens should not be exposed to undue high cost of transportation.
A real task of ensuring that our citizens are not exposed to undue high cost of transportation. I want to promise His Excellency that as a ministry, as his commissioner, we're going to be working very closely with the team here in an advisory role, in a management role, in a supporting role.
I know it is a difficult time, but then you are essential stakeholders in the state and the country at large. I believe that with your commitment, there is a way we are going to manage this so that it will not impact too negatively on the members of the public.
What we agree now with the task force we are going to set up, let the price come down so that we'll be able to force those people on the illegal motor parks into the motor parks.
We will do everything humanly possible to make sure that they are not inflict unnecessary outrageous prices on our citizens.
The governor, however, directed the committee to expedite actions on modalities to ensure the motive is achieved. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Meanwhile, transport unions in Ogun State have promised the state government that the welfare of their passengers will always be their top priority. They have also assured to ensure humane and will not bring unnecessary burden on the people. Transport leaders, while speaking to newsmen, said they will cooperate with Governor Abeokuta in his desire to ensure that residents of the state do not face harsh conditions as a result of the current high cost of fuel in the country. Gani Yusuf reports.
The briefing followed the meeting between the Ogun State government and transport unions on how to ensure fair transportation pricing in the state in the face of increment in petrol pump price in the country. Governor Abeokuta media team decided to meet leaders of the transport unions in the state to harmonize their position on this initiative, which according to them is a development that would bring relief to residents of the state. National President of Akumoro, Samsidin Akpelogun, commended Governor Abeokuta for revolutionizing the transport sector with the establishment of the Ministry of Transportation and introduction of the e-mobility program.
We cannot inflict unnecessary pressure and hardship on good citizens of Ogun State. And for His Excellency to think out of his box is a welcome idea, and we'll make sure that in all ramifications we will support his own policy.
The state chairman of the Ogun State Park Management Scheme, Akim Bodwe, affirmed that his union did not increase the cost of its tickets so as to make life easier for members.
Adẹ̀tí ń bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀, a rí pé iye tó ń repo, owó tí wọ́n fi sí gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tí gómìnà bá sọ lánàá, nǹkan tí wọ́n sì fi sí ó sì wà pa tí ó jẹ́ pé ohun tí gómìnà gan fẹ́ ni. So kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni tó fi kún owó tíkẹ́ẹ̀tì, so gbogbo nǹkan ń lọ, epo yẹn náà ló sì fa nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe fi iye tán fi sí yẹn.
Also, the state chairman of the National Union of Road Transport Workers, Alhaji Mustafa Ismail, and his counterpart at the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, Alhaji Titilayo Akibu, implored people of the state to be patient with President Bola Tinubu, saying that the union in the state will continue to look after the welfare of their passengers.
But the barrier what we listen is less than 5%. But we should give kudos to our drivers and the people at motor park. Because you know, if you inflate the ticket, you want no. They simply because of the hike of the price of fuel.
Èyí tó jù náà ni a ti ṣe yẹn, a ti súnmọ́ àwọn èèyàn, a ti béèrè pé sọ́wọ́n ni wọ́n lára lórí owó bọ́ọ̀sì, wọ́n ní wọ́n náà wọ́n lára pé 500 ló fi sí. Ọ̀gá adé ti sọ fún wa pé wọ́n máa kó bọ́ọ̀sì CNG jáde, so èyí tó jù náà ti ṣe yẹn, wọ́n ti fún wa ní bike CNG, so mọ́tò náà ọ̀nà tí wọ́n fún wa very soon náà, so tọ́ba dẹ̀ ti fún wa owó mọ́tò wa ti ṣe kí ni a tún wálẹ̀.
On his part, the state chairman of the Articulated Motorcycle Owners and Riders Association of Nigeria, Taufik Shokoya, commended Governor Abeokuta for introducing e-bikes into the transport sector of the state, noting that the e-bikes have brought about a new regime for transport fare for motorcycle subscribers in the state.
1,000. Ibi tó bá ń gbé ní 500 naira, kan gbé wá sí 300 naira. Ibi tó bá ń gbé ní 200 naira, kan gbé wá sí 100 naira. Adẹ̀ tó ń fàtìkò yìí tó dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọn fún àwọn lèrí tán tó ti ṣe fún wa pé àwọn ọkọ̀ tí wọ́n ń lo gáàsì ti fẹ́ tútú dé. Ṣé àwọn nígbà tó ń promise wa lórí ọ̀kadà ó dé, tẹ́ bá wò ta kákàkiri sìn, ìyẹn ti di rọrùn fáwọn tó ń gùn ta. Fáwọn tó ń gùn ta tí wọn ò repo mọ́. So adúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gómìnà wa. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣe.
Otumba Taufik Shokoya called on people of the state and traders to help government by ensuring a friendly price regime in their various businesses. Yusuf Ganiyu, Ogtv News.
Away from transportation first now, the people of Ojodu Abiodun in Ifo local government area of Ogun State have commended the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration for fulfilling its promise of bringing succor to them with the completion of their road. They gave this commendation while speaking with our news crew during the inspection of the progress of work on Ojodu Abiodun Ajuwon, Alagbole and Songo Ifo Abeokuta road projects. Matthew Showley completes the report.
With the completion of this connecting bridge in less than a month, succor will finally come the way of the people of Ojodu Abiodun who have had to endure several months of agonizing experience. The pains and anguish which were the trademarks of commuting through the major road in Ojodu Abiodun, which serves as a link between the inhabitants of the several communities on the fringes of the border between Ogun and Lagos states, now completely banished to the past, with the Ojodu Abiodun road now in the final stage of completion.
This is a 4-kilometer road, and we've done about 3.7 kilometers already completed with asphalt, and we have like about 300 meters left.
The timely fulfillment
of the promise made by the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun, during his visit to the community is indeed a thing of great delight to the people who now plead for the construction of speed breaker to reduce the speed of vehicles on the road. Olu of Oluke Orile is one of the early settlers in the community, now densely populated by people who mostly work in Lagos State, and it provides an insight into the significant milestones that have now been recorded.
2001, kò sí ẹsẹ̀ la fi ń rìn bíbáyìí láti òjòdú yìí lọ sí Àkútè ẹsẹ̀ la fi ń rìn. Omi là ń wọ́ bíbáyìí tó ń bá ti kún ọ̀nà yẹn ò sí mọ́ nìyẹn. Èmi ní máa ní kan lọ gbọ́kọ̀ wá kó máa fi kó àwọn èèyàn mi nígbà tó di Gbẹ́ngà Daniel bá wa ṣe níwọ̀nba rẹ̀ sí ẹ̀ tí omi yẹn sì tún kò rí ẹ̀ títí tí amúsù fi ṣe tiẹ̀ ọ̀hún ṣe wọn kan sí nígbà tó wá di pé Dàpọ̀ Abíọ́dún ní ti gbogbo àtẹ̀mí náà dẹ̀ tó ojoojúmọ́ ni à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ bá wa ṣe ọ̀nà yẹn bá wa títí kan community wa tó ń sọ̀rọ̀ ṣùgbọ́n wá rí i pé ó necessary láti ṣe wọ́n lè bá wa ṣe.
The impact of the reconstruction of Ajuwon Alagbole is not just in the new lease of life that have now been brought to the people, but the turnaround in the business and commercial activities of the bubbling and economically vibrant border community. The business owners have started feeling the impact of the reconstruction of the road as significant progress is being recorded.
As at now, as at few days ago, it has been very easy because the road has been graded and there has been easy flow of vehicles, coming to and fro. The only thing is the dust, which I believe, with no distance time, that will be subsided.
Really happy because this is what we are expecting from them. Experience starting very like I said earlier,
one of the site engineers gives an update on the projects as drainages are being constructed, stone base being laid, and surface laterites being put on different segments of the road.
Due to our cooperation of this environment and us people living around this Alagbole roads, and our workers, as we can see, our workers making progress.
With men and machines fully mobilized on different segments on the Songo Ifo Abeokuta road, nothing is being spared to deliver on the landmark projects that will change the narrative of the several communities along one of the busiest roads in the country. Matthew, show me Ogtv News.
Ogun State House of Assembly has acknowledged the state governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun's request for the approval of the 2025 to 2027 State Medium-Term Framework (MTEF) by the Assembly ahead of the preparation of the State 2025 budget. The Speaker, Right Honorable Oludaisi Elemide, acknowledged the Governor's correspondence dated 23rd August 2024 during the plenary held at the Assembly's complex Okimoso, Abeokuta. According to the correspondence, in compliance with the relevant sections of the Ogun State Fiscal Responsibility Law 2020 as amended, Governor Abiodun informed the Speaker and other honorable members of the State House of Assembly that the Executive Council has considered and endorsed the prepared 2025 to 2027 Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) for the state. The Governor in the letter also sought the Assembly's consideration and approval of the 2025 to 2027 State Medium-Term Expenditure Framework (MTEF) to facilitate the process of planning and budgeting for year 2025 and the outer years of 2026 and 2027. President Bola Tinubu has approved the commencement of 2024 National Honors Award to Nigerians and friends of Nigeria who have contributed to the development of the country. Minister of Special Duties and Intergovernmental Affairs, Zephaniah Gisalo, made this known at a meeting with management staff of the ministry in Abuja. Gisalo said that the federal government would also honor Nigerians who have distinguished themselves in their various fields of endeavors. The minister explained that the forms and processes leading to the award of national honors were free of charge, adding that people should desist from paying for national honors. It has been revealed that the chief motivations for irregular migration are lack of job or economic prospects at home, the desire to join family in another country, and fear springing from widespread criminal violence at home. In this special report, Nkem Agu finds out reasons for the spate of irregular migration, which is now on the increase. Those who bore their minds with Ogtv news crew were of the opinion that irregular migration requires joint collaboration. A report.
Migrants in irregular situations are particularly vulnerable to discrimination, exploitation, and abuse. Such migrants are also in danger of being exploited by crime organizations involved in human trafficking and migrant smuggling. Millions of people around the world lived in and travel through the shadow, compelled to leave home. They migrate irregularly without proper documentation to gain access to jobs, education, healthcare, food, and other basic services. In reality, an irregular migrant decide to leave home is rarely a decision. The latest estimates on migration from the Office of the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics suggest that in 2023, 1.2 million people migrated into United Kingdom and 532,000 people emigrated from it, leaving a net migration figure of 685,000. Those who spoke with Ogtv News say the young lads, most especially, should follow the regular route if planning to leave the country for greener pastures.
When you travel through irregular routes, you may be imprisoned when you get there in those countries because you have violated their migration rules.
Sure that yes, there is no harm in going to look for greener pastures, but that they should be advised that yes, if you want to go, if you want to jackpot using the common slang, it is better that you go through the normal route.
Respondents also said promoting stability, education, and employment opportunities, as well as reducing the drivers of forced migration, including promoting resilience, thereby enabling individuals to make the choice between staying or migrating.
So people can continue moving, and so they can only, but they have to move within a defined note, so that they will not be like they are not recognized in that country that they've gone to, or they will not be violating the rules of that are laid down by that country as the pathways for people to come into that country.
Well, we need to look into all of these factors, the factors causing irregular migration. So some of these factors has to do with improving our economic development. It has to do with stabilizing the society as well. Then it also has to do with us, making the migration pathway, making it easily accessible.
With many forced back to their countries of origin, the International Organization of Migration is canvassing for a better living condition for irregular migrants for the sanctity of lives. Nkem Agu, Ogtv News.
Still ahead, federal government launches 100 million naira AI fund through National Center for Artificial Intelligence and Robotics in collaboration with Google. Details and more reports when we return. Stay with us. You are still watching the Ogtv Comprehensive News. Thousands of residents in Maiduguri, Borno State Capital, and parts of Jere local government area are now stranded and displaced following the collapse of the dike and overflow of Alau Dam, which is about 10 kilometers away from the metropolis. Since last week, the state government, led by the secretary to the government, Bukar Tijani, led a delegation to assess the situation of the dam and reassured the general public that there was no cause for alarm or panicking, as measures will be taken to mitigate any disaster. The water flowed into the city since Monday evening to date. The incident has so far consumed many communities, including the Sheu's Palace, Monday Market, Post Office Area, Gwanje, Boroboro Customs Bridge, Zoo, Bulabulin, among others. This is, as in Yobe State, only 5 local government areas remain accessible to Damaturu, the state capital. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu has ordered the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, to assist the flood victims in parts of Maiduguri, the state capital of Borno State. Tinubu gave the order in a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, where he expressed deep concerns about the flooding. The worst flood in recent decades has displaced thousands of residents and affected facilities such as the post office and the Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. President Tinubu, in a statement, extended his heartfelt condolences to the government and people of the state, especially to the families that have lost their means of livelihood due to the disaster triggered by the overflow of the Lau Dam. While relevant authorities are still assessing the damage wrought by the flood, the president called for the immediate evacuation of people from affected areas. He assured Governor Babagana Zulum that the federal government is ready to collaborate to address the immediate humanitarian needs of the affected people. The president also said he remained committed to mobilizing federal resources to support the state during this difficult time. The Bauchi state government has confirmed 6 additional fatalities from the recent flood disaster, raising the total death toll to 24, who reportedly lost their lives in severe flooding triggered by heavy rainfall last month, with Bauchi North Senatorial District being the hardest hit. Meanwhile, communities affected by the disaster continue to grapple with the aftermath, as many homes were destroyed and over 300 farmlands were swept away, leaving residents homeless. During a press briefing at Government House, Bauchi, Commissioner for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Ajara Yakubu Wanka, disclosed that 163 people were also injured in the floods. Wanka explained that the flooding, as predicted by the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, was triggered by persistent heavy rainfall affecting the northern parts of the state. According to her, the floods also destroyed 60 culverts and damaged 12 major roads, disrupting the destruction of 2,000 houses, 178 electric poles, and the destruction of 52,035 homes. Intelligence and Robotics, ENCSA, has announced the launch of a 100 sectors. The fund will provide up to 10 billion naira in funding to selected startups, along with access to Google's AI tools, mentorship, and global network. The Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, stated that the AI fund is a significant step in nonsense with the potential for significant impact. Back to Ogun State now. The Ogun State Governor, Prince Dakwa Abeokuta, has approved the recommendation of the Governing Council of Sikiru Adetona College of Education, Science and Technology, Umuajoshe, for the appointment of Dr. Modukwe Oba Adenuga as the 3rd Provost of Sikiru Adetona College of Education, Science and Technology, formerly Tai Sholari College of Education, with immediate effect. In a statement by the college public relations officer, Mrs. Olufisayo Olajide, Dr. Modukwe Oba Adenuga, until her appointment, was the acting dean, School of Education in the college. She was also the chairman, Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union, COESU, Sikiru Adetona College of Education, Science and Technology, SACOTEC, chapter. She is married with children. Still on education, over 2,000 school children have been presented with school bags, exercise books, sandals, and other educational materials in the Ijebu Federal Constituency under the Back to School project of Bankole Abib Olugbile Foundation. Chairman of the foundation, Bankole Abib Olugbile, performing the presentation of the items to the pupils drawn from different schools in Ijebu-Ode during the grand finale held at Ojudioba Pavilion, said this is to support the efforts of the Prince Dapo Abiodun-led administration to ensure education for all and help reduce the burden on parents as they prepare for school resumption. Matthew Shomi completes the report.
Moved by the determination to bring succor to the people and smiles to many faces while supporting various initiatives of the current administration in the state to ensure easy access to education by many, Bankole Habib Olugbile has instituted the Back to School project in which thousands of school children are benefiting from school bags, exercise books, sandals, and other educational materials, with thousands of primary school pupils already presented with the items in the two local governments under Ijebu Federal Constituency. Over 2,000 primary school pupils in Ijebu-Ode benefited during the grand finale witnessed by leaders and chieftains of the All Progressives Congress in Ogun East, members of the Ogun State Governors Advisory Council, led by the chairman, Olu Okuboyejo, community and religious leaders. Performing the formal presentation of the educational materials to the beneficiaries, Bankole Habib Olugbile, popularly known as BHO, said his commitment to helping in the upliftment of many and educational advancement of the people is the reason behind the initiative.
I'm a giver, philanthropist, and the little God has blessed me with, I felt we should try to impact the people in our own little way. And being a party man, a member of the APC, we are in full support of the current administration. In our own little way, have to stand and bridge that gap.
Delivering a lecture on the importance of education and the role of parents to a child, Professor Lasun Gbadamosi urged parents to take proper care of their children. Parents of the chairman BHO Foundation, chieftains of the All Progressives Congress, chairman of Ogun State Governors Advisory Council, and others were delighted by the initiative, which will benefit many families at this critical moment.
I feel great and thankful.
This is what we call partnership with the state government in the education sector.
Somebody can come out to help parents at this hard time.
He's using his own personal money and funds to be able to bless these children.
Kò sí òbí náà tí ẹ̀rù ìsìn máa bà ní ọwọ́ bí ó kù ọ̀tún láti àwọn ọmọ fẹ́ wọlé. Ọlọ́run kó bá a san ní ẹ̀san rẹ̀.
The beneficiaries thank BHO through the Foundation for the kind gesture. Matthew Shomi, Ogtv News.
The growing prevalence of targeted killings of women and girls for rituals has been said to be a serious threat to human security. Advocates said the prevailing situation is driven by a growing demand for human body parts for money-making. In this special report, Bolaji Samson looked at the tales of gruesome murder, kidnapping of ladies for rituals. Her report.
To lend credence to the upsurge in the killing of women for rituals, the Foundation for Partnership Initiatives in the Niger Delta has said in February that about 150 women and girls were killed for ritual purposes between January 2018 and December 2021. The rising incident of ritual killings in Nigeria have continued to threaten the lives of women as well as the girl child, even as gender-based violence remained a constant threat to all women. Stakeholders who follow this trend said that the prevailing situation is seemingly driven by a growing demand for human body part for money-making occult rituals, which has the potential to reinforce harmful cultural beliefs and practices that could endanger the safety and security of women and girls.
The rate at which you hear of stories of women being brutalized, being murdered for money, and even to crown it, the fact that the young adults have, degenerated into the level that they stop pursuing it after education, but that they are now pursuing after money, to the extent that they are using their girlfriend, they're using their friends, their mothers, lovers, for money. It's a thing of concern. Lack of proper parenting is a factor.
Meaning, it is just the 4 eyes that give birth to a child, but it is thousands of eyes, 200,000 of eyes that watch the child. Because a child that you fail to watch, you fail to cater for, you are catering for your own children, and you fail to cater for another person's children in the community, those kind of children are the ones who will come and influence your children. What can be done to stop these menace?
Parents has a lot to do with this. The truth is that a lot of parents do some of these things, yahoo, as long as they bring money home, as long as they drive good cars. Most parents don't care.
While they are in school, they have to be monitored very well, do kind of follow up over them. Some when their female child told them she has gotten admission into a school, they will never ask about how she's living.
The response to ritual killing seems to be taking a different turn, all collectively pointing accusing fingers at women. Some believe that women are dying from ritual killing, and women are blamed for the reasons behind their killing, as women push men to do rituals.
Do not be a victim to any man. You are also equally important. And do not fall victim of ritual killing. Young girls who are still in their teen age and they are running after boys, you need to stop.
It was recommended that stakeholders should work with relevant government agencies to address the underlying drivers and develop appropriate punitive and preventive measures to mitigate the situation, and a need for formulation and implementation of policies that protect women from violence and the abolition of cultural beliefs that endanger them. Bolaji Sampson, Ogtv News.
The Department of State Services, DSS, has released Labour leader Joe Ajaero. Ajaero, who confirmed this release, said the secret police allowed him to go home around 11 p.m. on Monday. The Nigeria Labour Congress president said he was grilled for about 15 hours since his arrest at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Ajaero, however, said his passport was seized by the secret police. The Labour leader said though he was detained by the DSS, some police officers also came around to grill him at the DSS office in Abuja over the #EndBadGovernance nationwide protest that took place in August. Ajaero said he was quizzed over alleged terrorism financing involving a British national, Andrew Wine. The Labour leader was on his way to the United Kingdom on Monday for a trade union congress event when he was arrested at the Abuja airport. And to some health matters now, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention, NCDC, says there are 55 confirmed cases of monkeypox, mpox, in Nigeria. The center made this known via its official website, noting that the 55 cases were confirmed from the 935 suspected cases across 39 local government areas in 21 states and the Federal Capital Territory. The agency stated that no death has been recorded from the disease so far this year, adding that 70% of the reported cases were males, while 30% were females. It pointed out that the age distribution of confirmed monkeypox cases revealed that 19 cases were recorded in ages 0 to 10, 8 cases in ages 11 to 20, and 12 cases in ages 21 to 30. The NCDC gave the breakdown of the confirmed cases to include 8 from Enugu, 6 from Bayelsa, 6 from Akwa Ibom, 5 from Cross River, 3 from Delta, 3 from Benue, and 3 from Plateau. The Nigerian Public Health Agency noted that the National Mpox Multi-Sectorial and Multi-Partner Emergency Operations Center has continued to coordinate responses across the country. Simiat Abaru is standing by for business update.
You're welcome to the business segment of the news. The Ministry of Finance on Tuesday unveiled plans for a market-driven mortgage fund aimed at expanding access to affordable home ownership in Nigeria. Spearheaded by the Minister of Finance, Mr. Wale Edun, the initiative is part of the 1 Million Homes Presidential Initiative. The fund, known as the Ministry of Finance Incorporated Real Estate Investment Fund, is designed to provide low-cost mortgage options, particularly for pension account holders, enabling a broader segment of the population to own homes. Edu emphasized the potential of the fund to provide cost-effective mortgage options for a large segment of pension account holders. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and its joint venture partner Chevron Nigeria Limited have completed the conversion of 5 joint venture assets in compliance with the Petroleum Industry Act of 2021. The Chief Upstream Investment Officer at NNPC, Mr. Bala Wunti, said the asset conversion is expected to significantly boost crude oil production, with the 2 companies targeting 165,000 barrels of oil per day by the end of 2024. He emphasized the importance of Chevron's operational approach in maintaining network stability and ensuring a steady supply of gas to the domestic market. This transition follows the shift from the petroleum profit tax regime to the more investor-friendly PIA terms. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has said bank executives are complicit in aiding money laundering in the country, adding that it would commence prosecution soon. Speaking at the 17th Annual Conference of the Chartered Institute Bankers of Nigeria, the chairman of the EFCC, Ola Olukoyede, said the commission will soon start prosecution of bank executives involved in corruption. According to him, findings reviewed complicity in money laundering, illegal forex sales and trading among bank officials. While calling on the CIBN to step up its regulatory functions to guard against fraud, the EFCC boss said major financial fraud were conducted through the nation's banking system. The commission recently urged the National Assembly to enact a law which supports the whistleblower policy of the government. Nigeria's telecom sector risks shutdown as about 800 workers from the Private Telecommunications and Communications Senior Staff Association have embarked on strike, threatening to cripple services nationwide. The union, largely contract staff, warned of massive disruptions to telecom operations if its demands were not met, as this would leave millions of subscribers to face a potential communication blackout. The strike began on Monday, and unions' demand includes, among other things, reinstatement of some of its sacked workers, recognition of the union, improved working conditions, and remittance of membership dues. The union's Secretary General, Okonu Abdullahi, said the association's 800 workers play a significant role in managing critical infrastructure like base stations for infrastructure companies such as IHS, Huawei, etc. And that's it on the business segment of the news. Back to Dominic for the segment.
We now bring you latest news from the foreign scene. Australia is planning to ban children from using social media due to the mental health consequences. Meanwhile, the first debate between former President Donald Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris is scheduled to take place Tuesday night at the National Constitution Center in Philadelphia, with less than 2 months until the election. At least 40 people have been killed and 60 injured in an Israeli strike on designated safe zone in southern Gaza. Let's now join Olayemi Takuro for details.
Australia is planning to ban children from using social media due to the